Thanks for joining us here at Pinal Central. We are back with another episode of Pinal's People. And our guest today is none other than Chairman Robert Miguel of the Auction Indian Community. Chairman, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So to get started, for those who might not know, can you share a little bit about your journey as the chairman of Auction and how that came about for you?
Well, actually, I guess you can go back to childhood. I was raised by my grandparents, the late Jonas Paul McGill and Matilda McGill. So as they raised me from my adolescent years to when I unfortunately lost them during my teenage years, my grandfather was actually chairman of the Auction Indian Community when I was a child. So that foundation was obviously laid down for me to follow if that was my intention. So again, being able to be raised in a traditional, culturally lifestyle of the Auction people, it gave me the opportunity and the vision to, again, potentially follow that direction, and I did. And so as the years and the decades went by in my life, I started to see and feel somewhat that opportunity blossoming, and it led to different areas of leadership, from being on the student council or representative overall during my school years. And so as life went on in my community, I was able to take on some positions within my tribe of employment and on different boards and commissions. So the intent was there and the opportunities were there for me to learn. And again, at that time though, I didn't realize if that was what I really wanted to do in life. But again, just interacting with my people and getting feedback and just basically giving them my ear, I knew that was obviously going to be the direction I was truly going to go. I didn't know when it was going to happen as far as leadership, but 11 years ago is when I took the step into a position on my tribal council, and I got elected. And so the journey was obviously at trying times on trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do in life, but that was always the opportunity there for me, and the people gave me the confidence to again consider strongly a position to lead them. And so I'm here today, and again, a lot of it's a reflection on what my grandfather, the late Jonas McGill, laid down for me to follow. So I'm proud. Greatest honor in my life was to lead my people and continue to lead them today.
Mm-hmm. And can you share a little bit about what motivated you to step into that leadership role?
Again, really, it was just listening to the people, their needs, wants. Now, we're not going to please everybody, but we try to do what we can as leaders to, again, provide them with opportunities. And I'm not just saying some, but the overall membership, whether it benefits them or not. We just want to give them opportunities and something for them to consider. So, at one time, I was the Parks and Recreation director there in our community. So, obviously worked with the kids quite a bit. And no, that's what motivated me, I believe, is to give them and do what I can opportunities to succeed. And 22 tribes in Arizona. We're one of the smaller tribes, and again, I've seen a lot, and we're very, very close. But to give them opportunities as far as my people to succeed, again, that was what I wanted to try to do in advocating, and again, giving them those thoughts of potential success in their own way. So again, I've seen our people go through quite a bit, especially elders and community members that we've lost. They've struggled, and again, didn't have the opportunities we have today. So I wanted to do all I could to be able to lay down a foundation for them to follow, whether they do or not. That would be their choice, but the opportunities. You're always going to hear me say opportunities. You got to take advantage of it while it's there. And so again, that's what motivated me, is to, again, to be a voice for my people. There's 574 tribes in the United States, and I don't speak on behalf of the tribes, but I, again, advocate as much as I can, especially the tribes that are very small like us, that don't have the voice, that don't have the financial means to go to Washington, D.C. and lobby their efforts through Congress and Senate. So I do all I can for those that don't have that means as far as a voice. And that's what motivates me to keep going as far as leading, is to, again, basically just let everyone know, don't forget about those that really, really need your help. So that's what motivates me.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Chairman. And you had mentioned that you worked in Parks and Rec for a little bit, and off camera you'd also mentioned that you were a photojournalist.
Yes.
So it sounds like you had a varied background with Auction. Do you think working in those different areas kind of gave you, a multifaceted approach when it came to becoming chairman?
Yeah. I'll tell you, as a leader, you really have to, I strongly believe, have a relationship with everybody, even those that are going through some difficult times that maybe, again, are forgotten. I have to share, I was a photojournalist for our tribal newspaper for 17 years before I got elected into office. But it was, I believe strongly that it was my duties as a photojournalist that got me in the office. So as a photojournalist for the Auction Autumn Runner, not only was I covering stories for the community and taking photos, but one of the jobs that I had was, our paper came out bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks I would deliver to every home in Auction. And that was probably my favorite part of the job of working for the newspaper, because it gave me the opportunity to drive home to home and deliver the paper. Now, if I straight delivered the paper, it should take me no more than an hour to deliver to all the homes. But it took me half the day, 3-4 hours, because every time I would deliver, members knew I was coming through and they would stop me and we would have a conversation. And so I was interacting with the people. I was, again, in a way, I was campaigning without me knowing, because at that time I wasn't even looking to run for office, but I was delivering. I was a doctor, I was a lawyer, I was whatever it could be that the people wanted me to be while I was delivering the papers. I remember a couple of again, some great opportunities I had to interact even more with my people. I remember delivering to a home, and there were some young kids who had their own rock band. Okay, so their drummer was not there at the time. So when I delivered, they asked, "Hey," they call me Bob. "Hey, Bob, can you stop and play the drums for us for about a couple of songs until our drummer gets here?" Turned off the truck, boom, jumped on the drums. So I was doing a lot of those things. And again, just pulling over, and members knew I was coming to deliver the paper. So they would stop and again, they wanted my ear. They wanted me to listen, whether I helped them or not. Hearing, difficult stories, and just, again, a lot of these members were just getting things off their mind, and they knew I would be there to listen. I try to help as much as I can. And so, I was interacting so much that, again, it's what my grandfather was about, So I was there for the people, regardless of what I was doing. Kids would see me. I used to, again, Parks and Recreation. Kids sometimes would see me going to our local convenience store there. they'd see my car, they'd all run to the convenience store because they knew I was going to buy him something. You know, it was always about giving back and doing what I could. So that developed me into a stronger person when it came into leadership. It led me to continue to be who I am, rather than the title of being a leader. I mean, I think, a leader prior. I've been told that by elders. You know, what you do, you continue to do today. And so, you know, I'm the same person, although I have the title of chairman, I'm still the same person I was before that. And I'll continue to be that. And one of the greatest compliments I could ever get is when my elders tell me, you remind me of your grandfather so much, because that's who he was. And again, sometimes, you know, I can tell you, it is, when people call me chairman, there's times where I don't really accept it because I am Bob to a lot of people. You know, I am, you know, but they call me chairman out of respect. But, you know, I always tell people, or friends, or family, don't call me, you know, chairman, just call me Robert, Bob, because it makes me feel more comfortable. Because I'm no bigger than you are. Well, I'm not, you know, it's because of my title doesn't mean I'm over you. We're all equal. And you know, a lot of my ideas comes from those that aren't being heard, or those that are having difficulty, whether it's alcohol abuse, drug abuse, just different things. They're still my people. I still care for them. And I listen to them, and actually they have great ideas. And so I always want them to understand and know that I'm no big, you know, a higher person than they are. We're equal. We're the same. And I'm always going to be that way. I've always been taught and lived that way, that everybody's equal. Nobody's above anybody. And so that's, you know, developed me into the person I am today. And, you know, always help. Always do what you can for others, regardless of who they are, even if they didn't care for you. You know, you're still there for them, regardless. I've got we got 7 kids. My wife Connie and I, we 5 girls and 2 boys. And actually, our family motto is, "How can we help you?" That's what we live by today. And I'll tell you, you know, I'm going on travel today to New York. But in my 11 years in leadership, I'll tell you, one of the things I do every travel is, one of the first things I do is pack my sneakers into my bag. Because what I do as soon as I unwind is I put on my sneakers and I walk wherever I'm at. And I look for the first homeless person and identify where they're at. And I go to the nearest convenience store, buy groceries, little knickknacks to give to them. That's what I've been taught, to give back, especially those that are underprivileged, or those that, again, are really in need during desperate times. And I can always remember one where I, you know, did what I did, or did what I do as far as giving back, was in Houston, Texas. I identified an individual who was asleep on the streets. Went to the nearest convenience store, bought the knickknacks, and he was asleep underneath some newspapers. Woke him, startled him, and he was laying there, and he looked up, and I said, I didn't mean to bother you, but here are some things that I'd like to give to you. And, you know, I'll never forget it, because it's entrenched in me today, and it will be forever. Is he looked at me, well, tears started coming down his face, and he said, "I didn't think anybody ever cared." And that was really, to hear him say that, I prayed with him before I left. I said, I don't know what got you here, or where you're going. I'm probably never going to see you again, but just believe in God, and things should be okay for you. But, again, just his face, I can see it today. just telling me I didn't think anybody cared. And so I'm hoping that one moment, again, hopefully maybe changes things. If not, it's okay. But at least he knew that day and that second, that minute, that people do care. And again, that's where my heart's at and always has been. I just don't want, whether, you're a politician. Right now it gets ugly because it's election year and you got Republicans, Democrats, and I don't care who you are. Just don't forget about people, especially those that are in dire need and that need help and need an understanding that everything's going to be okay. Because people mean a lot to me. I don't care who you are, but every individual has a story, and they need, whether they're successful or not, they still need your support. So I'm hoping that, there comes a time, maybe not in my lifetime, but we put our guards down if we're, separated or have different issues amongst each other, and just help each other, and that's where I come from, and that's what I think helps me to sustain who I am as the chairman of the Auction community and being a leader overall. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And you had mentioned that you've been chairman for 11 years. In that time, what's one thing you've seen the Auction community accomplish that you're most proud of?
Actually, I've been in leadership for 11 years, 9 of it as chairman of the community. So,
oh, wow.
No, yeah. So yeah, there's been a number of things, and again, I'm very proud of the fact that, the foundation's been laid for us by former council members and members who motivated us to do what we're doing today. So I want that to be understood and to be known that, we always give acknowledgement to those that have done this for us. So we're just taking this and running with it. And, again, there's a lot of things that we've done in our community because of them, from farming to our enterprises. I'm proud of the fact that we persevered when we should have probably given up and maybe taken a step back and not move forward with some of the projects and the movement of our enterprises forward. There probably were some times where we should have, or we thought, but we persevered and believed in what we were doing. And I'm proud of the fact that we have a vision, we have ideas, we have a direction, and that we follow that without hesitation and not, again, stop what we want to do if we believe in it. That's what I'm proud of, is that we don't say no if we really believe in what we're doing. We are farming. We're a 22,000 acre tribe. 16,000 of it is designated to agriculture. So we're a farming community, and I'm proud of the fact that we are farmers. It's who our history is about, or what our history is about. And this is who we are as Auction people. Although gaming has changed our way of life and provided us better opportunities and better things for our community, we still are farmers. And again, so when I drive around the community and I see the farmlands, I reflect on our people who are no longer here with us. They're driving us through the farms. We see them through our farm. And so, I can really highlight our enterprises. Our casino, which is one of the top casinos in Arizona, as far as revenue generating for our people. We have our entertainment center, which is right next door, movie theater, bowling alley, game room for the kids and eateries and whatnot. And obviously our golf course. We are, the golf course, actually, we were when we first purchased it, we were going to get rid of it and develop other opportunities there, but we stuck with our golf course because we believed in it. It was probably the worst golf course in the state of Arizona, but now today it's actually the number 5 ranked golf course to play in the state of Arizona. And so we get a number of celebrities, local celebrities from the Arizona Cardinals, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Phoenix Suns, that come out there and golf quite a bit. And then obviously we have our one of our highlighted enterprises at the industrial park in Auction. We have 8 barns there that house over 1 million chickens that lays eggs every day and are distributed throughout the Southwest United States, which is Hickman's Egg Ranch. So again, some of these opportunities, I'm proud of the fact that we're, again, we probably could have folded on some of these opportunities we're doing today, but we stuck with it and we drove. And today we're reaping a lot of the success of us, again, continuing to move on that. But again, it's just perseverance that I'm really, really proud of. And we're continuing to grow in other opportunities in other ways. And so, I'm probably not going to see some of these things in my lifetime, but you know what? We've laid down the foundation for our future generations to take and see where it leads them to. But, very, very proud of my people, each and every one of them, again, for motivating us, just like we did for our former and stuff. So, again, I've seen a lot of developments and a lot of movement and, a lot of great opportunities that's not only going to help our community, but the county and the state overall.
And Chairman, what's one thing you wish more people knew about your community?
One thing I wish, it's just that we're great people. We're inviting people. We're there to help you. As the city of Maricopa, which sits next to us, has grown. I remember together, I think Auction in Maricopa was just maybe about 1,000 people. As the decades have gone on and development and growth has happened in the city of Maricopa, obviously, people have moved in from all over the country to live. And I think today, after having a conversation with former mayor a few weeks ago, we're at 70,000 people there in Maricopa. They're looking to go to 90,000 next year and then over 100,000 in 2 years. So, it's a matter now of educating and inviting those that don't know about Auction to come in and be a part of our community and see what we have to offer. It's not just our enterprises, the golf course, the casino, or the entertainment center. We're welcoming all of you to come in and see who we are and what we do. There was always that misconception that you couldn't go into the community because you weren't from Auction. No, come in and again, learn who we are. Take advantage of some of our opportunities like our parks and recreation, our baseball fields, and just different, again, public settings for you to come and just enjoy. We have an eco museum. Learn more about our community through our museum. And so, again, there was just that misconception. And then sometimes there was, some unfortunate situations where, it caused some havoc between the city and Auction. But again, come in and find out who we are. We respect you, but you have, come back and respect us too. And again, we're always inviting. One of the great things that I've seen, in my 11 years in leadership was coming home at times and seeing our park full with people enjoying, just the outside, the equipment as far as, the swings and just different things, and cooking out at our park, and a lot of them were not from Auction, they're from the outside. So that was one of the great things I'd seen, because it's like, again, we're here to help, we're here to share, we're here to do what we can, So again, those opportunities to come in and, enjoy some of our events. In April we have the museum celebration where we have traditional dancers, singers, arts and craft vendors and whatnot. Come and enjoy and see what it's all about. Engage and close that gap between, knowing what Native Americans are and what they're about. And in September, we have the Native American Recognition Day, which is another event that showcases a lot of tradition and cultural activities and whatnot. So, and actually, I think one of the great things I just heard recently is we had actually an outside individual or group who used our outside areas for, it was a Chihuahua festival, which included food trucks and a car show at our entertainment center, our grounds. And I believe there was over 10,000 people for that. So it was really, really good to see and know that, So any opportunity to come in to know about Auction, please, please feel free to come in and find out who we are as Auction people, because it makes for a better relationship overall. We're inviting, we're open, we're here to help you in what we can do together. So, you know, I invite everybody to come out, you know, because one of the slogans I say all the time is "We all win with Auction." So I use that quite a bit.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so, sir, just one last question
Sure.
for you. And this is a question we've been asking all our guests this year. If you were to imagine many, many years down the line, a future where you've accomplished everything you could have possibly dreamed about when it comes to being in a leadership role with Auction, and done everything you've set out to do, what does that future look like for you?
You know, it's, how would I say this? I think opportunity would be something, as I've mentioned, that would be a key as far as, you know, our members, you know, understanding that, you know, that they have. You know, we're as far as like growth and whatnot, we're landlocked in a sense. So we can't go any further to the north because the Gila River community sits in the city of Maricopa, and even to the east, where Casa Grande and stuff, and the Casa Grande area. South, we got the Tohono Nation. So, you know, we're kind of landlocked in a sense, but, you know, we want to try to do as much as we can within our area, because obviously we're going to grow, and we need to accommodate growth, and we need to accommodate our members and whatnot. And so, you know, again, providing as much maybe opportunities for them to move forward. Now we can go to the west of our community, but you know, you got real estate areas there that are not controlled by the community. And I forget to mention that back in 1912, we were giving, by executive order from President Taft, we were given 40,000 plus acres of land. Within 6 months, they reduced us to 20,000 plus acres where we stand today. So a lot of our original lands sit to the west of us. So obviously the opportunity to purchase our land back is something we are looking at. I mean, but for me, it's like, why are we purchasing our land back? It should be given back to us, you know, because we're going to end up growing, and that's going to be a part of our future. If we want to continue to grow in any means, whether it's economic development or, you know, the need for internal opportunities for our members as far as homes and just different, you know, potential businesses that we may utilize within our tribe. So first and foremost, I think we have to look at, you know, again, extending out more of our land to see what we can do, because that provides opportunities. But, you know, one of the key resources that we have is water. And we have actually the first water settlement ever to be established with tribes ever, you know, of the 574. And, you know, it's an opportunity that gives us, again, the direction and thought of what we want to do for our future. Right now, again, we are looking back at our foundation and what our former members and leaders, as I mentioned before, what they've laid down for us. Now, again, as everything grows around the area, that's where we start to consider what do we need to do to capitalize on those opportunities. And the city of Maricopa's growth is going to help us in that too. So, you know, as far as my leadership and you know, am I looking at, you know, praise or acknowledgement? No, you know, I'm not about me. You know, I'm always again about we. You know, what we do together. You know, I was asked a question at one time. How do you want to be remembered? How do you want to, you know, people to think of you as you're gone, either from leadership or when you are gone? You know, and I've always been, you know, I'm just a part of the tracks that the train goes on, and I'm just a piece of that, making the train go through and getting to where we need to get to. So again, I never praise myself. I never want acknowledgement. I'm only here to do what I need to do for my people, and again, making sure that I'm doing things because of what was given to us. And I want our next generation to take that on too. So I'm just, again, I think I've heard it too, a spoke in the wheel that keeps that wheel turning. And, again, I thank God every day for giving me the opportunity I have to be an advocate for my people and to speak on their behalf and do all I can before my time is done, whether it's in leadership or in my life. And again, I'm, as a leader, you never are fulfilled. You never really truly feel you've done enough, even though sometimes it is enough. But, again, I'm sure I'm going to be termed out after a couple of months here, but I'm sure there's going to be a time where I'm going to sit down and think I could have did this, I could have did that. But again, I'm acceptant of the fact that I've done all I can right now for my people.
Awesome. Chairman Robert Miguel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.